Hey everyone, it's me again, Brittany, and I'm here today to do my Get Ready With Me Q&A for hitting 35,000 subscribers. I'm so excited to do this, to be doing this. It's really, I don't know, it's cool. Like, this whole journey is amazing. The support that I get from my channel is amazing. And yeah, I tweeted when this first happened, like a month ago, what you guys would rather see, if like an assumptions video, a Q&A video, a Get Ready With Me, or a Get Ready With Me Q&A, and a ton of you guys chose Get Ready With Me Q&A. So that's what we're doing, and I'm taking the questions from Twitter. So yeah, let's kind of get going. I feel like this might take a while. So I'm not entirely sure how much I'm going to talk about my makeup, so we'll just see as that goes. I just showered, so my hair is wet, and yeah, let's get started. Primer first. I've been using this Smashbox Photo Finish primer, so let's do that. It's really liquidy. I don't know how to answer questions and do my makeup at the same time. Oh dang, I forgot my beauty blender. And as far as like staying power goes, I feel like this one doesn't do much for that. It's just really nice and moisturizing, especially the way that I do my like base now. So let's answer a question. So the first one I see is from Mika, and it's, what's a book at the top of your mind that made you fall in love with reading? That's a really good question. Honestly, I really feel like the Vampire Academy books had a big role in like my reignition of loving to read. They were just so good, and they were vampire novels, but like they were still so fun and like unique. I don't know, they just brought something cool to the table, and it was like my first experience being like, wow, main character is a girl that's a badass, and that was like what ignited my female badass main character love. It would probably have to be that, which is so odd to think about now. So I've been taking these two concealers lately because my skin gets super oily, and I've realized that these stay on the best during the day. Like, it just doesn't move, and they're the Shape Tape concealers, and I use this one, which is almost out, and it's the light neutral, and the fair light neutral for under my eyes, but this one's a little too light for me. So from Danny, it says, if you could sort your cats into any Hogwarts house, what would it be? This is a really I feel like Luna would probably be a Hufflepuff because she's just a sweetheart. She wants to be friends with everybody. No. You know what? She's a Gryffindor because she is still like a sweetheart. She wants to be friends with literally everyone. She's super like loyal in her own ways, but she's mostly just like a maniac. She's super brave. She just like jumps into things without thinking. So she'd either be like a Gryffindor or a Hufflepuff because she's getting a little less manic as she grows up, which is good. And then T'Challa would probably be, actually I think T'Challa would be Slytherin, because I was gonna say Hufflepuff because he's a really sweet boy, but he doesn't really like people. Like, he tries to like stay away from them for the most part. He's always like running and hiding, and at first I was like, maybe that's a little bit Hufflepuffy, but like not really, because he is super loyal. But like, the reason I'm saying he's a Slytherin is because he knows how to get what he wants. In the morning, whenever he's super hungry, he always knows how to wake us up and be super annoying until we finally feed him. Yeah, he'd probably be a Slytherin. I don't know, that's hard. I feel like their personalities are so erratic, like it's hard to tell what they'd be. I'm looking crazy. Let's do another question. From Noria, she said, which literary character would you swap lives with? Oh, she asked a few questions. I think I'm gonna answer the first one, because as far as like TV shows and like casting main characters, I'm actually so bad at doing that. I picture them such a certain way, and I never picture them as like real life actors. So her other question had to do with like, if one of my characters was real, where would I take them sightseeing? Which like, that could be funny. If Selena Sardothian was real, I would probably take her down to the Strip, because she would totally get away with like gambling, and I don't know, she would probably like make the casinos her bitch. She would either be like super pissed off because she's losing tons of money, or she'd somehow like cheat her way through the system, which would be super funny too. And as far as like switching lives with literary characters, I know people always say like they don't actually want to switch lives with people in fantasy books because it seems scary to be in a fantasy world, but I think I would still want to. Maybe not with Selena, but I'm thinking I would probably want to switch lives with Feyre, because I mean, first of all, Rhysand, yes. Second of all, like her like abilities, I really like that. They're very multifaceted. I don't want to like spoil anything. And I love the inner circle. Like, I really like them, and I like where they live. And just overall, I feel like I would enjoy my time. Also, I've never had siblings, and I've never really thought about it, but I feel like it would be interesting to have her siblings. Or maybe I'd want to be Madonn. I think I would have fun as Madonn because, I mean, you know, maybe before Kingdom of Ash Madonn, because I love her friends. I love the idea of having a Braxos, like hang out all the time. I love the fact that like she is just independent as hell. And yeah, I think I want to be Madonn because yeah, Rhysand is great and all that good stuff. But I think I'd have fun just being like a wyvern rider that just like, I guess, killed people for fun. Yeah, cool. Now that I look a little crazy, we're gonna take the powder part. I've been using, do I want to use this? Yeah, I've been using this Becca. It's dirty, don't judge me. So it's this Becca, it's called, I think, like the Hydra Mist Set and Refresh Powder. I got it in a BoxyCharm and I love it. It feels wet when you put it on your skin. Like, see, it has like this little cover, and then when you press it in, it feels like you're putting a wet powder on your face, but it's powder. I don't know how they do it. So Jacob said, would you rather be a dragon rider or be able to shapeshift into a dragon? He had a few questions. So for that first one, I would rather be a dragon rider because I've always been a big pet person. Like, I love having pets. I feel like I connect really, really well with animals in general. And I think that it would be nice to kind of have like a permanent companion that's really only loyal to me. And we could, I mean, like literally why I said I wanted to be Madonn, like I think I would have so much fun with a Braxos. Like, it's not even just to be Madonn, it's like a Braxos. Other question is, which of the 4 basic elements would you prefer to wield? I've thought about this for a really long time. When my friends and I were really young, I don't know, it was like a game of pretend, but you know, like when you're young and you're like, no, this is actually real life, and you're just like pretending it's a whole game, but it lasts for forever. We were like pretending that we were these princesses that were able to control the elements and that we were just trapped in the real world. Yeah, I don't know. Did you guys do this or is this just me? So we would do that all the time, and I controlled air. And I remember like at the moment I was annoyed because I didn't want to be air, I wanted to be fire. But after thinking about it for a long time, I realized there's just so much you can do with air. You can fly, and there's just a lot of like defense maneuvers with it. We went really deep into this game, guys. So I feel like air would be really cool. It's very handy, but I also wouldn't mind fire. Fire was always like my go-to option, but if I can't be that, I'll be air. I don't mind. And then he also asked, what are my favorite videos to film? I think I really like filming vlogs just because there's so much going on. Like, there's so much planning that goes into everything, like to make things aesthetic if I want to. Like, there's just so much that can be done with vlogs, and it's really fun, and I feel very natural just talking to you guys and like giving you an insight in a different part of my life than like what you would normally see. Now I'm gonna just leave my face for a little and we're gonna do my eyebrows. So I always do the little spoolie first and I just kind of brush them through, and then I've been using this MAC Shape and Shade brow tint, and this one's in taupes. It's a little too dark for me, but that's okay. I really like this kind. It's like a little felt tip, how eyeliners are, but it's for your eyebrows to give it like a very precise look, and I've been using this for a while. Oh, no. Taupe is the one I ran out of. Yeah, this one actually matched me perfectly. I don't know why I still have it, but Spiked is the one that I'm currently using. Yeah, I've been using these kinds of brow things because I think they work really well. But before I do that, because I'm not gonna be able to answer a question while I do my eyebrows, let's answer another question. Sophia said, would you prefer to be a character in the Throne of Glass universe or in the Harry Potter universe? Throne of Glass. I feel like that's pretty obvious for me because, I mean, that was my Wonder Boom turning off. And then Elise says, your house is on fire. Which 3-book series do you save? Honestly, I have such issues answering these, so I don't know, guys. I'd probably reach for Kingdom of Ash. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I like this. Nola asked, why is Throne of Glass one of your favorite series? And she said, P.S. I love you, so love you too. It's because, I don't know, it gives me all of the self-insert kind of fantasy things that I've always really liked. I mean, obviously, Selena is just this badass. She doesn't take anything. There's hot guys just everywhere. The friendships I think are really well done. There's magic, there's intrigue, it's sexy, there's just so much going on. Madonn is like a world unto herself. It's just like, it has everything that I really love in books. Like, it is just definitely a guilty pleasure read for me. So that's probably why I like it. So I'm gonna do my brows. Alright, and that's kind of it. I let them sit before I set them, but I always set my brows. Someone asked if I ever wrote a book, what genre it would be. it would be fantasy. So Caroline asked, how did you realize you were a Slytherin and what was your journey with that? And then she also asked how I balance booktube with my work life. So, okay, let's talk about the Slytherin thing because I feel like that's the elephant in the room. We all know that when I first started my channel, I was a Gryffindor. I had taken the test like a million times. Every single time it said Gryffindor, so I'm like, okay, I guess I must be a Gryffindor. But I never really felt like one. I always really wanted to be a Slytherin, and I just kind of like accepted my fate because I was like, the test is saying I'm a Gryffindor, I must be a Gryffindor. But I like it because since then I've seen people be like, you have to remember that the sorting hat actually takes your own opinion into count as well. It's not just about what kind of personality you have. But I did take the like full test one time, the one that's on, like, you Google Harry Potter test and you don't do the Pottermore one, and then it shows you what percentage you are of everything. And I took it and I was like, oh god, what was it? It was like 70% Slytherin. No. Well, I was 0% Hufflepuff actually, so there's that. But yeah, and so that was like my moment where I'm like, okay, I'm a Slytherin. Like, I've always felt like a Slytherin. I like Slytherin's values at the end of the day. Like, they value cunning, they value being witty, they value just doing whatever you need to get where you want to go. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're evil or conniving in any way. It just means that like you're willing to do what it takes to be happy, and that has always been my mission. Like, my #1 mission has always been to be happy, and I'll do whatever it takes to be happy. Yeah, I don't know, that's my journey. And then as far as like booktube and work, it is hard. It's mostly a lot of pre-filming, and then I don't know, I'm still really trying to figure out the balance of it all, so I don't have a lot of advice there yet. So let's start on the eyes. I'm gonna do something pretty simple today. This is the Tarte Clay Play palette. It smells like chocolate. I'm gonna take this shade up here, like in my crease, and I'm gonna take this one, this warmer brown, in my crease too, to like deepen it up. And then to top off like the darkness, I'm gonna do this one just in like the very corners, and then we'll decide the rest from there. Let's do the next question, in between colors. So Anisha asked me what the best life advice I've ever gotten was and how it changed my life. I am really bad at picking out specific moments like this. Like in interviews, you know, they always ask you something like that, and I always kind of get frustrated because I don't remember specific pieces of advice. Like, I get so much advice, I get so much good advice from the people around me, but I feel like overall, like I said earlier, the #1 thing that's always stuck with me is to do what makes you happy. For a long time I thought that I would just have to do like anything just to like make money, or that I wouldn't necessarily be super happy with like where everything was, but the end results would be good. And one day it just kind of clicked that like that's not how it should be, that I should be happy with every single step getting there. That is kind of like the advice that I've followed since. Like, my dad always told me to do whatever makes me happy, my mom's always told me to do whatever makes me happy, and it like really stuck with me to always try and be happy. Like, it's just, I mean, there's obviously low points, I'm not always happy, but at the end of the day I'm always striving to be happy. I'm not doing things that are gonna make me unhappy. I'm always just striving to get myself in like the best place possible for myself. And whether that's like what other people have planned, whether it's like the normal route in life, probably not all the time, especially not now that like I finished with school, I got my degree. I have currently no plans to go to grad school and currently no plans to pursue what I got my degree in. And I'm not really stressed about it because I just know that it's all gonna work itself out, and I am giving myself time to like relax and be happy and do what I like. So yeah. Glowy the Reads asks, who would you say you watch the most in booktube and what do I watch outside of booktube? I would say that I mostly watch a mix of people that I just always go to. I really love watching my friends' videos, so like Chan from Chandler Ainsley, Miko whenever she's posting. I love The Irish Reader. I really love Emma Book's channel. She does a really good job. I love Books with Chloe's videos. I almost always will watch anything she'll post. I think she makes very soothing content. Oh, Leo Reads. I've been loving her videos. I watch them a lot. I've been watching Kaylin Abridged a ton. She has very like soothing vibes as well. But that's not even all of them. I watch a lot of booktube videos. I'm not always watching them though. I tend to go through phases of watching booktube. I like Read with Cindy's videos too. I always think she's very refreshing. And then as far as what I watch outside of booktube, I will really watch anything. I've been into mukbangs recently. I really like lifestyle channels like Mia Maples. I love hers, but I love the beauty community. That's how I got into YouTube, really, was watching beauty gurus and makeup videos. Like, I've always been really interested in it all. I've never been like good enough, I feel like, to make my own, but I like watching theirs and getting tips. Kathleen Lights is like my all-time favorite YouTuber. Like, in general, I feel like I just love her the most. I would want to be friends with her. Now for the corner. So now I just take like a very little bit of that dark color that I was saying, and I just like tap, tap, This is turning out a little bit more dramatic than I thought it would. And that tends to happen whenever I start doing actual eyeshadow. Someone asked what my favorite makeup brand is. I don't really have a favorite. I just kind of do whatever. Someone asked if I had to get a book cover tattooed on my face, what book would I choose? I mean, that's pretty extreme. I guess I would go with something like Pretty. Kingdom of Ash, I guess, because like they can't really do the gold, so then it'll just look like my skin tone, so it'll be fine. Ooh, someone asked me what tattoos I have. So right now, while I'm doing that, I'm going to be doing my under lash line. I just use the same colors to smoke out the bottom. I actually have a few tattoos. My most noticeable one is the one that's like right behind my ear. It's a little crescent moon. I got it one Friday the 13th. I've always been a night owl, child of the night. I just have always found it easier to stay up at night and been more productive at night. So the moon's always been something I love, and the night sky and all that good stuff. And then I have a quote down the side of my like torso, like right here. And it says, "Do you suppose she's a wildflower?" And there's a little lotus flower on top of that. The lotus flower was unconnected. I actually got it on another Friday the 13th, but I decided to connect it. And that quote is a Alice in Wonderland quote, and I've always loved it. And then on my back I have, it's in Latin, and it says Etiam Angeli Cadent, but it means even angels fall. And then under it, it actually is like a Roman numeral date, and it's Friday the 13th, but it was actually the date that I graduated from high school, so that was really cool. I have the wolf on my leg. It's a wolf, but then if you look closer inside, it's two wolves facing each other. Well, I wanted something based off of the Cherokee legend that there's two wolves fighting in all of us, and one is good and one is evil, and the one that wins is the one you feed. And my tattoo artist came up with that, and I loved it. I never finished it though. Technically it's unfinished, but you can't really tell, so it's okay. Maybe one day. But I definitely want more, but I'm slowing my roll. I did those all like in one go, and it's been years since I got a new one. Caitlin asked, do you unhaul books you don't like or just leave them on your shelf to talk about in videos or a potential book tag? I leave them on my shelf, literally for that reason, for potential book tags. That's such a funny question. Now I'm just gonna highlight my brow bone with the palette still. Actually, I'm gonna use Tempera from the Anastasia palette. This is also in the Modern Renaissance palette, this shade. It's like a really soft highlight. And I'm gonna take it just like right through here. It looks a little creepy right now, but don't worry, we'll clean it up. Now I'm gonna add some eyeliner. I'm gonna use this voluminous liner noir from L'Oreal. It's like this. I think it looks like a cat packaging, and I'm just gonna do a wing liner. Someone just asked Spider-Man. Yes. Someone asked if I can speak Spanish. Yes, I do. I speak it with my mom. She's the one that taught me, so. Someone asked what my experience with college was. Let me know if you guys ever want like a whole video on this. Honestly, I liked college. It was pretty easy for me. I just didn't take it too seriously, and I did pretty well actually, so I don't know. There's a lot less pressure when you just like don't know what you want to do with your life, you know? Purina asked me a few questions. So she asked if I have a limit on how many pets I could own. I think for me, my limit, I mean, the limit really does not exist.
The limit does not exist. The limit does not exist.
But also, realistically, I'd probably only be able to handle like 2 dogs and then my 2 cats, because I would want to give them just like so much love. I could maybe do 3 dogs. And every once in a while I think about getting another cat. I just love animals. And then I'll answer the rest of them after I do my eyeliner. Alright, my eyeliner always looks different on each side. Alright, also asked me the top 3 places I would like to travel. Probably Greece, Spain, and Russia, honestly. And then how many books do I own? I honestly don't know. I think it's like 500. Okay, so let's do my mascara real quick. I've been using this Tarte Big Ego one. It works. It's like not my favorite thing ever, but it does the job, so. I literally almost always get a little black spot. I want to say it's because my lashes are just long and I'm like clumsy, but I'm pretty sure it's just because I'm clumsy. Alright, and normally I would just like leave it at here. I normally don't put on fake eyelashes, but I feel like today I want to. These are just the like Ardell Wispies. They don't do much, but I feel like they do just enough. You know what I mean? Like they're not like dramatic in any way, but whenever I just want a casual lash, I do this. And it adds a layer of oomph, 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 oomph. Alma asked, do you plan to get into the psychology field like counseling, because she is about to graduate and is a psychology major? So no, like I said, I really just don't have any plans currently with my psychology degree. The issue is that I've always been really interested in psychology. I think that it's so fascinating to learn how people's brains work and why they work that way, and I'm just very fascinated in it, but I never really had the drive or motivation to want to use it to become a counselor or therapist, basically like to help people. I just didn't have that motivation. I really originally wanted to be in forensics, and I thought it would be super cool to do something along those lines, but about a year before I graduated, I realized that it might be a very depressing field, looking at dead bodies and crimes and the such, and I decided that it probably just wasn't for me at the time, that I wasn't gonna be like prepared enough for it. So I might one day still go back to grad school and go for that, but maybe at a time in my life where I'm more prepared for it. But no, as far as counseling goes, that's not me. That's my boyfriend though, Adam. He plans on doing some kind of counseling career with his psychology degree. See, it really doesn't do much, but it adds that extra oomph. I hate this lash glue. I normally use the one that's like in the tube and has the brush tip end, but I don't know where it went. And this one, it's so hard to tell when it's still wet or if it's dry. But someone actually asked me, what is the first book that I truly felt represented in, and not just in looks, but it can also be experiences or emotions or characteristics. So this is a really interesting question for me, because I feel like I keep going out of focus. As far as like nationality goes, I have never really seen a book where I'm represented. I mean, there are plenty of books where like the main character is half Spanish, but I've never seen a book where the main character is like half Argentinian, and Argentinian culture is obviously completely different than like other kinds of Spanish cultures. There are similarities and it's always nice to see, but like as far as food goes and characteristics, like I've never seen it, so that's always been kind of, I don't know, it's not something that I look for. So because I've never like been represented in that way, I've always looked for characteristics, and like I've been saying, I've always really vibed with like the badass main character, the one that's kind of out for herself, kind of still wants the better good for everyone, just all around like knows how to take care of herself. Like I would love to think that if I were ever in a situation where I needed to, I would be able to just defend myself and I wouldn't freeze or anything like that. You obviously never know unless you're in that situation, but yeah, I've just always like admired them. At least I'm using a different mascara, by the way, for the bottom, because most mascaras like bleed onto my lower lash line, but this one not so much. But yeah, I've always felt more like a kindred spirit in those little feisty main characters. We're nearing the end, guys. I'm gonna do my bronzer really fast. So I use the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. This is in the shade Bronzer. I use these. This is just to like generally bronze up the skin. These ones are really strong, so I just take a little bit of the second shade to kind of deepen up the bronze. Or I'm gonna take the first one actually. Let's do blush. I'm gonna use this one right now. This is the NARS Gulu brush. You get this if you become a VIP rouge at Sephora. Fofui. But I don't know if they have it otherwise. I like this one because it says, which book character do I relate the most to? I feel like I've answered that a few times, but they also ask what relates most to my boyfriend, and I feel like he's very Rhys-and. Like he's very Rhys in A Court of Mist and Fury, so whenever I read it, like some of the mannerisms, like even the way that he talks, I'm like, that's Adam. So it's weird, yeah. This one's controversial. And it's from Carrie, and she says, if you had to root for another NHL team besides the Knights, who would it be? The only acceptable answer is the Hurricanes, by the way. I would not root. Like that would just be it. If I wasn't rooting for the Knights, I would just not be rooting for NHL. That's just the deal at the end of the day. There is no one else. I guess like my only other potentials would probably be like the Flyers, which I think is Philly's team, and like that's what Adam used to root for, but even then. And my best friend loves the Bruins, but I don't know if I could be a Bruins fan, you know? Dang. Accidentally exited out of it. Okay, let's just do the highlight real fast. I'm gonna use this Artist Couture one in the shade Summer Haze, and I like to go a little heavy, honestly. I love highlight. Ooh, she gleaming. Okay, it's not that heavy actually. But I'm not gonna use this one on my nose. I do nose highlight, guys. I take it seriously. From the Jaclyn Hill palette, her highlighting shades up here are probably the best highlighting shades in my entire collection. It's like the only reason I ever bring out this palette anymore is just to use either one of these. I'm gonna do this one today. I just do like a line across to make it look like my nose is more button-like than it is. And then I do one down to kind of define it. Putting on foundation like takes away all the definition in your nose. It's why I find nose contour so important. That's it. That's really it. I normally don't put on lipstick. I can today. Actually, let's do a gloss. This is Champagne Mommy by ColourPop. ColourPop has amazing glosses and they smell so good. Let's just do one more question. Someone asked, why do I do BookTube and how long do I plan on doing BookTube? So I love BookTube. I feel like I'm gonna be doing it for as long as it's still fun for me. It's never gonna, I never want it to feel like a chore. I never want to feel like I have to get in front of the camera and I have to film and I have to do it. I'm gonna keep doing it as long as I have fun with it. That's that. And then why do I do it? I think like they meant like why BookTube and why not like another area of YouTube. So I just initially found all the other areas of YouTube very daunting. I have since considered, and I think that this is going to be something that I actually do next year, is start another channel. Like not stopping this one, but I want to start another one, sort of like a lifestyle one, because I do love doing vlogs and things like that, but my reading vlogs rarely have to do with reading. So I don't know. I want to do maybe like a lifestyle kind of YouTube, but I'm still pretty nervous about it. I still don't know all the details or like if I'm really going to do it, if you guys would be like okay with me doing that kind of stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. For now, like BookTube just really is a good place. Like there's so many good people on here. There's so many nice people. There's not a lot of like hate on it, I guess. Like there is hate. Don't get me wrong. There's hate all over the internet. But like as far as BookTube goes, it does a pretty good job at keeping the hate away. So I think that's how I'm gonna leave off this video. So thank you everyone who asked me a question. I didn't get to all of them, but I really appreciate every single person that participated. Yeah, if I missed your question, I'm so sorry, but thank you guys. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for like watching this video, for always commenting and liking and everything really. Like everything you do means a lot to me. Like every step of this whole YouTube thing means so much to me. It's weird because I try and still stay very, like I have a very I can do better attitude. I have like these very unrealistically high expectations for myself at all times, and you guys are like supporting them honestly, because like you're making me feel like I'm succeeding at this, and I feel really good in that aspect, and I love the connections I'm making. And yeah, I don't know. I definitely feel like I need to work on connections. Like of everything that I feel like I'm succeeding in BookTube, which I feel like technicality wise I am, I just am not that great at the friend part. Like I do have a couple of friends and they're all amazing, but I know I can do better. So yeah, that's kind of random, but that's my own question to myself. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye. I forgot to set my eyebrows. I use this.